All right, time for some jersey bracket action. We're going to rip through our own bracket here. Harry has laid them out. I think it's just sorted by division. Yeah. So too much work to try and like seed these out to the number one seed. And, I think Harry did a great job, I believe, of setting it up where it's 1 versus 4. And yep, because you see, yeah, I believe that's correct. It's like first, it's based on standings in the NFL, right? So we can push these guys through as we want. I do kind of like the idea that they're all the pods are seated by like somebody's going to emerge in the Elite Eight from the AFC West, and that makes it kind of spicy. Like it's a little divisional matchup. I would also be remiss if I didn't point out that big basketball media spent months telling us that the ACC stinks. And you know what? 13 times. 4 ACC teams in the Sweet 16. Next closest conference, 5. There are 3 teams from my area code. 919 has 3 teams in the freaking Sweet 16. We run this town. Get out of here, Big Ten. Bunch of clowns. You don't have a freaking NCAA title since 2000. Like Maryland's last title. Maryland's joined your league since and like won a title before like your last title, losers.
Coming from the guy who has 1 ACC team in the Sweet 16 of his bracket in the Pick 6 bracket challenge.
I thought I pushed Duke through.
You don't have North
How
Carolina.
did you look that up so fast? My bracket's terrible.
That was locked and loaded. It had to have been.
I know, that's a great job. No, I do have Duke through. I don't have NC State. That's right. I had Texas Tech going. I didn't want to. Again, I'm like whatever. If my bracket stinks and NC State makes it to the Sweet 16, albeit. Shout out to my buddy Bradford Steeden. I don't know if he listens to the podcast, but Bradford actually has NC State winning it all in our bracket pool. He's the only one who did it, which is just B's to the W, or really really stupid. But the one thing that annoyed me about Bradford's bracket is he had NC State beating, I think Houston, maybe Duke. I can't remember. But then playing UConn in the final after UConn beat Carolina. It's like, if you're going to go all the way with NC State to win it all, like have us play Carolina in the final. Like you're going to win the bracket if State wins it all. Like no matter, like you're probably going to win the bracket if State makes the finals because you're going to be the only one with that. So like, why not give you that?
We're shouting out people. Shout out to Joe Marcocchio, who is first place. I've mentioned the Pick 6 bracket challenge so many times. We might as well shout out the first place guy.
Yeah. Who's Joe got as his finalist?
He's got Tennessee as his champion against Illinois.
Oh, Illinois look pretty good. Illinois looks a lot better than I expected.
He doesn't have any 1 seeds in his Final Four, so and they're all still alive, so it's an impressive bracket.
Wow,
yeah,
that is an impressive bracket. I was going to look at this. Yeah, Sean Quinlan in second place with Arizona, and Chris Bell in second place, tied for second place. They have 50 points with UConn. A lot of UConn
spicy
people up top. Yeah. John Miller, the next closest individual champion with Duke. Christian Richard has a team of Purdue up there. Randall Bazzini, ouch, has St. Mary's winning it all, and it's like top 10. That's a tough beat. Darren Bileski has Houston, the top Houston guy at number 8 as well. And then Dylan Hager has Carolina winning it all. Hopefully, Dylan, you plummet out of the standings quickly. Okay, let's get to our bracket. We'll start on the left side, I guess, and just rip down and then jump across. I guess that would be the natural reading order of doing this. 49ers versus Cardinals. Don't think we need to spend a lot of time on this. Don't see a 4-1 upset here, Sully.
Yeah, no, this is a 49ers landside victory. I was saying before we hopped on, like, I don't necessarily like the way the jerseys have been going in these reboots. Like, the Patriots are like this. The Cardinals are one of these teams that are like this, where it's basically a color rush. I mean, you're basically just all red, and it just doesn't look like anything that's really iconic with that franchise. Like, I like their old ones, the Kurt Warner ones, the Carson Palmer ones.
Yeah.
I loved those back in the day, which was, not that long ago. But the way that they're kind of trending in terms of the style, I don't love. I love the 49ers using their throwbacks a little bit more. Obviously, the logo is iconic. This is a clear-cut victory for me.
Right, and Breach, I think we can all agree, like, when we say the jerseys, we think of their primary jersey, but we also can include alternates as like especially if you're talking about like I don't know. Rams and Seahawks is a really fun one in terms
I
of
feel like it's a good tiebreaker if we are stuck
Yeah.
between two. Yeah, 49ers, I don't even need to talk. They cakewalk over the Cardinals.
All right, Rams and Seahawks, Breach. What do you think? I mean, again, like, man, you give me those Rams, the circle Ram helmet. I love that. I think the Rams look sharp, but I'm obviously a Rams homer. Seattle when they go with the slime green, I kind of love that. But I really sort of like to what Sully's point. Like, I love the old Hasselback, Sean Alexander Seahawks look. And like, I think the Seahawks maybe jersey has gone downhill a little bit since then.
Yeah, I mean, with the Rams wore in Super Bowl 56 against the Bengals, their kind of traditional LA Rams jersey, that I love that look. I mean, that whole uniform matchup I thought was awesome. I love the electric green. A lot of people hate it with the Seahawks, but
I love it.
You know what? I think I would. This is one of those. I'm 51-49 favoring the Rams.
See, I'm leaning more Seattle here. I do like Seattle's. I like it, what you're saying. The Sean Alexander, Matt Hasselback. I do love those much more than today's iteration. But I don't know. There's something about the new version of the Rams uniforms that I just feel like they're trying to modernize it for the sake of modernizing it. Like you were saying, Breach, or I think it was for me at least, it was the Patriots Super Bowl that they played against. It was when they first moved to LA. They kind of went back to the old Rams logos, their throwback. I love that. They tried to do it with these new ones, but for me, these ones just don't hit as well. And if we're talking about incorporating throwbacks in here, the Seahawks bringing back their 90s throwbacks this past season was an A+.
Right. Brenton, so what is
as a Rams fan and host of this podcast, we're going to push the Rams forward here. 2-1. Sorry, it's very close. Fine. It's very close. Yeah. All right, we got a matchup in the NFC South. We got a matchup of 2 16 seeds in real life in terms of uniform. It is the Buccaneers against the Panthers. I think the Panthers can do good stuff with their uniforms, but more often than not, their uniforms are pretty. So I'm not going to sit here and pound the table for them. But I mean, it's not like the Buccaneers are blowing. I don't know. I guess the Buccaneers like went on to a really weird space with the alarm clock jerseys for a while and then got better. So I think I'd probably lean Bucs here. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, they're a team that went a little bit too modern with the digital alarm clock jerseys and then kind of went back to a more traditional look. I think that was.
They also had the creamsicle.
And the creamsicles, as I was just going to say, the ultimate throwback jersey that clearly gives them the edge here.
Yeah, I feel like the creamsicle is the deciding factor. I think they're about even. I love the Carolina blue. I'm surprised the guy in North Carolina doesn't love the Panthers version of Carolina blue.
Yeah, you'd be surprised. I don't like Carolina blue. What a shock. I do love it. It's unfortunately a great color. Okay, Saints and Falcons. Falcons actually – is it Arizona that launched their new jerseys that looks just like the Falcons jerseys? I mean, I would probably just lean towards the Saints just because of like the iconic gold and everything that goes with it. I don't like the Saints as a team, maybe because of Derek Carr and like Dennis Allen, but I think the Saints jerseys are pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm with you. And I actually do like, I kind of keep bashing like the modern look. I do love that black alternate helmet that they started to incorporate as well. I do think that's a sharp look, especially with their, if they go all white with the gold numbers. I think that's a great look for them. Falcons, yeah, they have some throwbacks that are nice. I do like the red helmet whenever they use that, but to me, it's the Saints. I'm with you, Brinson.
Yeah, I like the tradition of the Saints. I like the all black, and I agree with Tyler. I do like the all black helmet when they pop that thing out a few times a year.
All right, now we get into a division, the NFC North, with some legitimately stout lineups. Lions and Bears. I mean, I think one of the cool things about the Lions being good again is that their uniforms are awesome. And it was just such a bad team for so long that it was hard to get into it. I would pick Lions here for sure. I think the Bears, I like the Bears orange alternates. I think those are pretty cool. But Lions for me is the easy pick.
See, no, I'm with you with the Lions, but I actually can't stand the Bears alternate orange helmet. They look like the Browns. I don't think that's a great look for them. Iconic jersey when it's their standards, but to me, I would definitely give the Lions the edge here. Oh,
the Lions have the gray too, or the silver gray too, which is
which I don't love, but it's better than that orange thing that the Bears wear.
Yeah, I don't love the all gray. I actually like the Bear overall look more, but that's why there's 3 of us. So we
All
don't
right.
have to have
2
any
Lions,
guys
2
with our
yeah.
voting. 2 Lions to 1
That's right.
Bear.
Oh my.
Lions,
Okay.
yeah.
Packers and the Vikings. I don't know. This one seems pretty easy to me. I don't really care for purple uniforms, so that's
Yeah, this is to me. It's Packers all the way.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's an
Packers
easy one.
easily over
That
the
was
Vikings.
easy.
Sorry. Yeah, purple doesn't do it for me. Sorry, ECU. Yeah.
I think the
Vikings,
next one's a cakewalk too.
Yes, Cowboys do stomp on the Commanders in terms of the jerseys. Everyone agree on that one?
Absolutely. I liked it when they were the Washington football team. They kind of kept the old, the old colors and the old scheme. Again, this is kind of like an alarm clock vibe that I get from them in terms of the numbers, and I just don't love it for the Commanders.
There's just a lot of like really cool, kind of like iconic stuff the Cowboys can do with their uniforms. One is which like just they don't change it that much. Like they keep it pretty simple. And the big star on the helmet, I mean, like it's America's team. It's you might hate the Cowboys, but it's hard to argue with their jerseys. Eagles and the Giants. I mean, again, I don't hate the Giants uniforms. I don't really like the Giants. So I don't love their uniforms, but I think they're pretty traditional. But the Eagles, Kelly Green. I mean, what are we doing here? This is a slam.
Kelly Greens, the All Blacks, they're just general ones. It's one of the best in the NFL. I don't think this is particularly close.
And you know what? They just brought back the Kelly Green last season. If that wasn't back, I would be a little closer here, but I do love every uniform the Eagles have. They all look good. Definitely the Eagles.
All right. So we'll see. Harry, I think Harry's working furiously behind the scenes and maybe give an updated NFC bracket. While he does that, we'll go to the AFC side of things. And we'll start with the Chiefs and the Broncos, a really tough matchup. I think when Denver's playing good football, good look, the team being good or bad like matters with these jerseys somehow. I mean, like it's like you could almost say too. You could almost argue too that like with the Chiefs and how they're sort of Patriotsing, like the Patriots uniforms became really annoying for a while, and the Patriots were just dominating the league, even if you kind of liked them. I need to think about this one. What do you guys? Any thoughts on Chiefs versus Broncos?
Well, I'll tell you this: earlier today, the Broncos did announce that they're bringing in new uniforms. So this could be quickly outdated by the time we look at this a year from now if they're bringing in new uniforms. I weirdly like the Denvers. I know Kansas City's the more iconic one at the moment. They're the team that everybody's recognizing in the NFL, and I do love their jersey. I love their logo. But Denver's throwback with the old Bronco with the D on the side of the helmet, their new version, awesome. I really, really like. To me, I think the Broncos actually edge them out here.
Yeah, I mean, my take is I'm not going to count a throwback because if you like it so much, that should be your main jersey.
Sure.
And they dislike their jersey so much that they're getting new ones, like you said, Tyler. So I can't pick a team that's literally getting rid of their uniforms in the next 4
that's
weeks.
Good point.
Good point.
So I'm going with the Chiefs.
Do we have? I don't think we even have an upset yet, do we? Like, I guess technically it's not really.
I mean, the next one's
all the top. The next one will be interesting. All right, we'll say Chiefs.
Are you Chiefs or Broncos?
Yeah, I'm gonna go Chiefs. I was just looking at the jerseys. Like, I do like the throwback, but I agree. It's like if we're like, what if we push the Broncos in the Elite Eight, and then they're like, check out our new green jerseys, so it'll look like idiots. So let's have the Broncos out of here. I'm a fan of both. Though that's a tough one. I think in a world where we see these guys out 1 through 16. Or like whatever the seeding would be, or I guess it would be like 1 through 8 on each side. Like the Chiefs and the Broncos would have a case to be 2 high seeds. Like you would probably have like Chiefs versus Panthers and Broncos versus Buccaneers as opposed to those 2 matchups.
Right.
But obviously impossible to really see them out like that. Raiders versus Chargers.
Ooh.
This is a good one. I mean, the silver and black. Like when I think about like various like people signing with the Raiders, I'm like, man, when I think about someone signing with the Raiders, I think, how would that person look in silver and black? Oh yeah, Bree, hold up your helmet. But then, I mean, it's hard not to love the Chargers uniforms, and they have all these like the freaking powder blue. Like I should hate it, but I don't. And then like the dark blue, I even dig. And there's a lot to like about the Chargers uniforms. I do think the Raiders have a case that they're obviously much more iconic.
I think that's the answer, right? Raiders are more iconic, but to me, that powder blue Chargers, and even the one that you remember, it's A+. But the one that you mentioned, that it's the dark blue and it's got like the dark blue inside the lightning bolt, I like that one sneaky the best out of all the Chargers. So I'm clearly going Chargers here. It's a tough one for sure. But I like the Chargers.
I'm just going to say this should be a Final Four matchup. This should not be a first round matchup. I mean, both of these uniforms are awesome. I think the Raiders probably have the most iconic look. You know, if you show NFL helmet to someone in Malaysia, they probably recognize the Raiders. That is the one logo everyone recognizes. But man, the Chargers, the powder blues, I love all their looks. They've got the dark blue uniforms now. I like that one. I think that's what you just mentioned, Tyler. So I begrudgingly will go with the Chargers.
All right, just for the record, I would go with the Chargers too. I think the arguments are all right there. It's like the 2-1 seeds here. It's just grouped by division. Moving like Jaguars and Titans. The Texans and the Titans are the next matchup there in the AFC. And again, we've got the Chargers' first technical upset, by the way. Texans and the Titans. This is the opposite of the Raiders and the Chargers. I don't know which. I don't really flip a coin, I guess.
Yeah, very much so. I mean, we might have to use the same logic that we were doing with the Broncos, though, because the Texans are also rolling in new uniforms that was leaked on Reddit, and then the owner leaked them or whatever happened.
Oh, that's right. I thought that's who it was. They look like the Houston Falcons. I think they look pretty good. My beef with the Titans is that like their throwbacks are awesome, but it's the Oilers, a team that like you stole out of Houston. Like I can't. You see, like freaking JJ Watt tweeting about it incorrectly. He's like, we should wear the Oilers uniforms. We are in Houston. You are the franchise that took the Oilers out of Houston to Tennessee where there is no oil. So I'm gonna vote for the Texans here out of pure ridiculousness that the Titans wear the Oilers jerseys.
I think I'm with you. I think I'd go Texans as well.
You guys are both going Texans? All right. Well, then my vote doesn't matter, but I am going with the Titans because I'm in Nashville and I stare at the jerseys every time I go out in public. You
can't get Najani and like all of a sudden be dragged by Nashville like for saying something about it.
But I'll tell you this: if they had the Vince Young old uniforms that they had in the mid 2000s, I think that's way better than this new iteration that the Tennessee Titans have brought in. So again, maybe that's just me being fond of a different era, but I do like the Texans a little bit more than Tennessee's.
And look, if you give them the Oilers jerseys, I mean, my God, like, sure. Derek Henry and those Oilers, that's a hot one. But I don't give him credit for that. Jaguars and the Colts, again, not a I don't know. Do you like the teal? I think I like the black with the all black the Jaguars can wear, and like they can do some fun stuff with it. But generally speaking, I'm not a huge fan of the Jaguars overall vibe.
No, I'm not either. And the Colts, to me, it's an iconic logo. You just think of Peyton Manning in very clean blue, the clean white 18. Yeah. That to me is one of the best.
Yeah, and then they also. I like their color rush jerseys, and they introduced the black helmet with the blue on blue.
It's the Indiana Knights jersey or whatever, like a Knights, with the NIGHT. It looks just like Duke football, which frankly Duke football has awesome jerseys. They just happen to suck at football most of the time. All right, so Colts move forward. Oh boy, tough matchup for Johnny B here. Ravens against the Bengals. I mean, I think that this is an easy one because I like what the Ravens do. Like, even though I don't like I said I don't like purple jerseys, I think I like the Ravens, but I'm a big fan of the all white, the white tiger that the Bengals wear. I think that's kind of sexy. You also have the black and the orange combo, and then the all orange. I actually might lean towards the Bengals here.
I was just going to say, I was going to agree with you that it was really easy, but I think it's really easy for Cincinnati, and I'm not just kidding.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah,
I like the Bengal helmet, orange, and I also like the white tiger ones as well. I just think that there's a lot more to do with the Bengals uniforms than Baltimore's, and no discredit to them. I think it's a great logo, great jerseys, but I think the Bengals are sneaky one of the best in the NFL.
I'm glad you guys went that way because I didn't want to come across like a total Bengals homer. But I do think they do have one of the best uniforms in the NFL. I love their helmet. I love that they introduced the white helmet. So this one for me, the Ravens, it's nice. I like the purple, but I'm Cincinnati here.
I also will point out too that I think I love. There's the white. You see the white. I love jerseys. I mean, I love helmets where you don't need to have the team's logo on there. It's the Raiders are the rarity there with that, the iconic, the Raider logo. But it's like, I like when you can say, oh, I know what team that is without having to have like the Panther logo, right? Like a silver helmet. It could be anybody, but then you see the Panther logo. I like the idea that the Bengals just have the tiger stripe across it. Okay, Browns and the Steelers. Do we dock the Steelers for the Bumblebee jersey or the Bumblebee jersey, Sully?
No, I don't. I mean, to me, again, this is actually, talk about a Final Four matchup. This could be just two storied franchises, history with
Yeah.
each one of them. But I go Pittsburgh here. I just think success with Steelers. When I look at the Cleveland Browns jerseys, I just think of failure. So I don't know if that counts,
I
but
didn't agree with that.
that's just kind of what I look at.
The Browns are iconic.
I don't find
it's too plain. I'll give it to the Steelers.
The Browns are very iconic. They're also not aesthetically pleasing to watch.
Mhm.
Like you run into some real issues with, like, let's say you get, like, I don't know. I mean, pick a team on the NFC side that they beat in the finals of this, and you're like, oh, I'd like to watch that game.
Right.
There's not a lot. Like, like Browns or even like, let's say the Browns and Jaguars met in the Final Four, like Vom City. Like they wouldn't get that far. But there's just a lot of teams where you wouldn't want to see the Browns up against them. All right, Bills and the Patriots, Sully, a tough matchup here. I think I lean towards Buffalo, but
it's not tough at all. I absolutely cannot stand these New England Patriots jerseys that they have right now. I mentioned it earlier with the Arizona Cardinals with the all red. These Patriots look like the Blueberry Girl from Willy Wonka at this point. It's just, it's absolutely gross. I don't mind it when they wear the gray pants, but this new jersey that they brought after the, what you want to call the dynasty era jerseys, which I thought were great. These ones absolutely stink. I would love for them to incorporate more of a 90s vibe if they're going to try to, go somewhere. Give us maybe like a Drew Bledsoe era throwback of those light blues. But boy, I absolutely can't stand them. And I do love the Bills logo. I love their alternates. I don't know if they still wear the Reds at this point. Do they still do that? Or even if they don't, I like that. I like their home. I like their away. Buffalo wins this in a landslide.
Yep. Okay. I like the Bills.
And yeah, Bills, we've seen them wear the Reds. The Bills Reds are great. Patriots Reds really good too, by the way.
Of course. The throwbacks are amazing, but primary stink.
Dolphins and Jets. Do we throw producer Harry under the bus here? I love the old Dolphins logo, like the old Dolphins helmet logo, like the Dan Marino, Ace Ventura era.
One thing to point out, the Jets, I believe, are going back to their throwbacks, the one that we saw Aaron Rodgers wear in week 1. I believe that's going to be their full-time jerseys coming up in 2024. Ooh. So, that's a point for them because I do like those a lot better than what they were wearing. But to me,
Dolphins, the white throwbacks.
Yeah, those are great. But the Dolphins, I love their old one with the dolphin with the football helmet. To me, that's one of the best logos in the NFL.
Yeah,
Dolphins orange is great too.
The Dolphins. That's one of my favorites in the entire NFL. So we are not going to throw Harry under the bus. It doesn't sound like we're moving the Dolphins to the second round. Look at us.
All right, let's go. I like that Harry already had the Dolphins there. He's like, I don't care what you guys vote. The Dolphins are moving on. Okay, moving on. We'll have to move a little bit quicker. 49ers and Rams and Buccaneers and Saints in the next round. I think it's going to be tough to argue for an upset by the Rams. Creamsicle would probably be the biggest argument I have for the Buccaneers. I think I'd probably move 49ers and Saints ahead here if I was voting. What say you guys?
I go 49ers, Buccaneers.
Okay.
I go 49ers, Saints.
All right. 49ers and Saints advance. But it sounds like 49ers is pretty easy for us, and I love the Rams, but I mean, the Niners are iconic. And then, Saints, Buccaneers, like I think it's Buccaneers jerseys have gotten a lot better recently, and certainly the creamsicle throwback is great. Lions versus Packers. Tough one here. Green Bay's jerseys are I think Green Bay's up on that list, Breach, you mentioned where you could show it to somebody in like Malaysia and they're like, oh, yeah, it's a Green Bay Packers jersey, especially with the helmet. And then Cowboys Eagles, another monster standoff. I'm going to go, I think I want one green and one non-green. I'm going to say Lions in a bit of an upset here. And then I'll take the Eagles with their variations over the Cowboys. What say you guys?
Ooh.
Breach, where are you going?
You want to be the deciding vote?
I kind of want to see where this goes.
Packers and I'm going Packers Eagles.
Okay.
And we're going that same direction, Breach. I was going to go Packers Eagles. I think, two greens is fine here. The Kelly greens, the red, the black for the Eagles is great. And then I just think the Packers are one of the most iconic brands in the league.
Yeah, look, I mean, I like I said, Lions a bit of an upset over the Packers with my pick, and so we got so on the Sweet 16, is that right? We have Elite 8. I can't remember. Yeah, Elite 8 on the NFC side. 49ers, Saints, Packers and Eagles. On the AFC side, Chiefs versus Chargers. I just think, and then Texans versus Colts, man, I think you can just do so much more with the Chargers. The Chiefs are really steady and everything. Obviously, they won the back-to-back Super Bowls. I think the Chargers uniforms are just sexier than the Chiefs, so I'll go Chargers. And then Colts, again, for all the reasons Sully laid out, kind of clean. Like the new Texans don't do a whole lot for me. So I got Chargers and Colts advancing. What say you guys?
Chargers, Colts. That's where I'm at too.
Chargers, Colts, unanimous.
That's an easy one. That's a good matchup right there.
Oh boy, I don't think this next round's gonna be unanimous.
Yeah. Bengals against Steelers and Bills against Dolphins. Man, these are some good battles.
Yeah.
I do like that it's like the divisional matchup because it's like it feels like these teams do hate each other. I think I would still pick the Bengals. I know I sort of faltered with the Ravens early. I was just sort of thinking about the like Lamar Jackson running around and like the Ravens all black. But the more like you guys got me thinking about all the variations you can do with Cincinnati, I like that. I also am repulsed by the Bumblebee Steelers uniform, and it drives me crazy whenever they wear it. So I definitely dock them points for that. Bills Dolphins. Ooh, I think this is like a coin flip here. I think.
Oh, wait, Brenton, I should just say so you don't get yelled at by Steelers fans. I think they stopped wearing the Bumblebee uniforms.
Oh, okay.
Like 6 or 7 years ago. That doesn't mean you can't still hate them.
I hate them. They're like my least favorite uniforms ever.
You just remember Big Ben looking like a giant bumblebee throwing the football.
Yeah, it's just a great look. Yeah. I mean, they still made the decision to wear those as like a throwback. I feel like I guess I haven't seen it. I guess you're right. I haven't seen them in a while. I would still take Bengals over Steelers. Other Steelers, like Steelers, is a traditionally fantastic uniform. I'm not dogging it at all. I think it's a great uniform, tremendous uniform. I'll narrowly go Bills over Dolphins. I think it's like a really, really close fight there.
I'm going Bengals, Dolphins. I just love the Dolphins are one of my most favorite in the NFL, so I'm going to be pretty pro them the rest of the way here. But the Bills are good, but they're just a little less. I don't know what the right word is, but I just think the Dolphins.
Am I sleeping on the Dolphins jerseys here? Maybe I am.
Well, just their throwback are great, but I even don't mind the new ones that they have. The logo is not as great on the helmet, but even still, I do like theirs a little bit better.
I'm gonna agree with Sully. Apparently, we have the same taste in jersey, Sully. I'm gonna go Bengals Dolphins here. I made a list of all the uniforms I liked before we started this bracket, and the top 2 teams on the list were the Bengals and Dolphins. Unfortunately, they play each other in the next round, so I'm not sure what I'm gonna decide there. But I like Bengals Dolphins.
Worth noting when you I'm just like quickly Googling just to make sure like I've got the right one. And the Dolphins, the Dolphins whites are good. I love that little old school porpoise.
Snowflake.
So we have the Chargers, the Colts, the Bengals, and the Dolphins advancing. Sort of a kind of interesting like contrast in the vibe on each side. Like the NFC is very like sort of like the dark the Niners and the Saints is that gold, like dark gold. Yeah, and then like a little more sort of I don't know, with like light colored on the like sort of like colorful on the AFC side of things versus kind of the dark sharp colors on the NFC side. I swear I'm not on an edible when I know what I'm saying. All right. In the Elite Eight, only 8 teams remain, and we start at the top of the bracket. Of course, 49ers at Saints. Man, we've seen these two teams meet in the NFC Championship game before, and it's a very nice looking like battle between these two teams. Like it's a very sharp, lot of gold. Think I would lean towards the 49ers. 49ers have had an easy path thus far. 49ers can do so much with like the red and the gold and the black across the board. I think I lean towards the 49ers. But I do like the Saints jerseys.
Yeah, I'm a 49ers fan. And you're right, they have had a relatively easy path. I mean, you're playing the Cardinals in round 1. That's a 1 versus 16 if I've ever seen one. But this is a close one. I mean, I do love New Orleans's new look with the black helmet, as we mentioned earlier. And I just, you think of Drew Brees, you think of Sean Payton, you think of those games in the Superdome, how that looked. But to me, there's something about that 49ers look that it's a blend of classic, it's still relevant. I just like the way that they look right now.
I should be completely against the 49ers since they beat the Bengals in 2 Super Bowls, and I had to stare at their uniforms in those Super Bowls.
That's a good jersey, man. That's a good uniform matchup too, by the way.
It's
Niners and Bengals is could be the final here.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that it's actually the total opposite. So I'm going with 49ers over Saints.
Okay. Packers and Eagles, green versus green. I think you could probably argue that it's like, do you prefer the more traditional? I think think about the throwbacks for the Niners here. I mean, man, the Packers for the Packers. The Packers is just so classy. Just like, I mean, so classy. I do think though that the Kelly Green factor for me, and I don't like the Eagles, man, but I freaking love the Kelly Green and their white jersey good as well. So I will go Eagles. I think you get a little more variation, maybe eschew the tradition a little bit here.
Yeah, I go Philadelphia here. It's for everything that you just said.
Mm.
Obviously, the Kelly Green's massive, but I do love their black alternates as well. Like I think that's a real sharp
Good
look
point,
for them.
yeah.
Big prime time game. I feel like when they play Dallas, they throw the black uniforms on. You're like, okay, here we go. We're out for blood. We're out for vengeance. I love what Philadelphia has on a multitude of levels.
I can't disagree. I think this count as an upset here. We have a
I'd say
3
so.
seed over a 1 seed. I think that's what it seems
Yeah,
like here. I'm going to go Eagles.
I mean, Packers 49ers would be a pretty straightforward traditional NFC final matchup. Okay. On the AFC side of things, Chargers and Colts. Oh, Colts. I like what the Colts do. I like the clean classic stuff. But again, like the Chargers are, I mean, you made the case Chargers are my favorite jersey in all of sports, favorite uniform in all of sports. And so I will advance the Chargers here.
Yep, Chargers no brainer for me. I think the Colts are sharp. I like the kind of new stuff that they're doing with the Indiana Knights or whatever it's called, but there's just no denying the powdered blues.
The Chargers taking down the old guard. You have the Raiders who have never really done anything to their uniform. It's just classic. The Chiefs have never really done anything. The Colts have never really done anything, although they did do the Indiana Knights uniform, but they're mostly been traditional uniforms. And here we are advancing the Chargers. I'm on the Chargers bandwagon too.
Okay. So glad the Chargers can make the playoffs, make a deep playoff run in something like something. Okay, Bengals and Dolphins.
Oh boy.
I'll let man.
I
I
let
feel like
Breach take
Breach.
the floor here.
No,
Yeah,
I'll
Breach,
go
go
last.
ahead.
I want to go last.
Okay. So you can go first here. You said your two favorite uniforms in all of sports.
Yeah, these are absolutely this could be very easily be a final for me. But I go with the Miami Dolphins. I'm sorry to tell you that, Breach, but I absolutely love what the Dolphins do in terms of their throwback alternate with the old logo with the dolphin with the helmet. But I still don't even mind these ones that they have now. I prefer the logo for the old logo better than this one, but still, there's something about we were talking about this with the Jaguars. Like teal doesn't necessarily work in a lot of ways, but for whatever reason, this Miami Dolphins teal nails it. So to me, I think it's close because I do like what the Bengals do, especially with that like white tiger alternate. But to me, the Dolphins have that perfect blend of classic, but also new age look.
Let's see if I'm looking at this is I found a CBS Sports calling nothing beats the Dolphins all white jersey throwbacks. It's actually Jeff Kerr ranking the throwback uniforms. I was hoping it was gonna be like Sully. It's like Sully,
Can you
like,
imagine?
longtime Dolphins, secret Dolphins fan ranks Dolphins best jersey in sports. Yeah, I'll man, Breach, are you gonna go the Bengals here? I mean, obviously you go the Bengals.
You probably know what I'm going to do, but I can't vote yet. I said I was going last.
All right. I'll go the Bengals just to let Breach break the tie and see if his fandom.
Nice. Good for you.
See if his fandom. Does his fandom or is Breach an honest person or is he a homer? I'll go Bengals. I do love everything they do. I think the tiger stripe is fantastic, and I just like initially forgot about the white tiger, which is just a superb uniform. Although this is a really really close matchup, and I think whoever is going up against the oh man, I don't know. I might change. I kind of want to go Dolphins. I like that.
Then go Dolphins. Go Dolphins.
I'll go Dolphins. I'm sorry, Breach. I'm going Dolphins. The more I look at this Dolphins jersey, the more I'm with you. And it's like I think too when I think about watching a Bengals game, and even with like Jamar Chase doing something awesome and exciting, I don't know that like the uniform necessarily pops. But when I like watching Devin Achane like rip off a freaking like long run in a Dolphins jersey is just a delight to see. So I'll go Dolphins.
I do think
Sorry,
if this was a helmet only thing, I would absolutely take the Bengals. But when you take into account the whole look, that I can see why you guys are taking the Dolphins. Of course, since I've already been outvoted, it's easy for me to take Cincinnati now. So I will take Cincinnati, and I will go down with the ship.
So that actually works out well for you, Breach. You get to maintain your homerism, but you realize that the reality is the Dolphins probably should advance. So our final four, 49ers versus the Eagles and the Chargers versus the Dolphins. I think it's a perfectly acceptable final four of NFL jerseys. Man, I'm going to go on the NFC side. This is tough. It's funny because it's like one is an NFC champ, one is like an actual NFC championship game from the last few years, and one is like a fictitious thing that'll never happen because NFC teams can't win anything. I'm going to go 49ers. I tend to lean towards red a little bit more. I love the color green. I love all the stuff the Eagles can do. I just think I like the 49ers a little bit more. Although if you guys both go Eagles, I got no problem with it because like if we get powder blue versus Kelly Green in the finals, like that's very enticing.
Yeah, I'm going with Philadelphia here. And it's one thing that we didn't even mention too. I mean, we're talking about helmets. The wings on Philadelphia's helmets are A+. I mean, that is one of the best, it's kind of Bengals-esque where, there's no clear-cut logo. It's not, it's a play on the logo, but it's not necessarily just stamping the logo on the side of your helmet. Absolutely love it for the Kelly greens. Love the blacks, like I mentioned. 49ers are classic. I like the bold font that they've been doing on the numbers as a throwback. What is that, the 90s or the 80s, whatever it is, specifically. And the gold helmets are awesome. But to me, in the NFC, there's not one like Kelly Green. There's not one like Philadelphia.
Wait, are you guys split on this? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, you get to make up your choice. You get to make.
Oh boy, why would you put me in this situation?
And I'll be honest. Like I'm sort of like I'm not regretting my pick, but like I am kind of like regretting the idea that we won't like if you pick the 49ers, I'm going to feel bad we don't get Kelly Green versus powder blue.
I love the 49ers uniforms, but I like the Eagles more. I think the Kelly Green is the thing that puts me over the top. If they had not introduced it, which just happened right before the 2023 season, they finally got their whatever. They like didn't have enough Kelly Green color to make uniforms, and they couldn't mass produce it, which is just insane.
That was like the weirdest story, right?
The weirdest story.
Like in 2020, at that point, 3 or 2022, how do you not have that capability?
But we also remember we got Mike Vick in the Kelly Green jerseys back in the day, and it was like unbelievable. Like it's like oh my god, this is amazing. But yeah, that is a weird story. So,
but yeah, I love Eagles.
Oh, that's true. All right, so we have the Eagles advancing. I'm actually glad that you went Eagles, Breach, and now we have the Chargers versus Dolphins. Producer Harry in a last minute Hail Mary attempt to push the Dolphins through to the championship has pointed out that it will be a rematch of the championship game, the Super Bowl in. Did they actually say Super Bowl in Ace Ventura? I think they did, right? They could. I guess they got permission from the NFL.
I'm not 100%.
They had to, yeah.
Did they get permission? They're wearing freaking Miami Dolphins jerseys. Like, they got permission.
Well, it's just like crazy that back in the day, a movie like Ace Ventura: Pet Detective was able to like shell out whatever it cost to get in like the licensing rights from the NFLPA.
The NFL probably read like a 1-paragraph summary. Is like, oh, that's hilarious. Let them do it. And then saw the movie and was like, oh my God, what did we sign up for?
Well, it's like have you heard the story about basketball with Al Michaels and Bob Costas, where it's the South Park, the movie about like the guys from South Park and they're like, yeah, we'll sign up to be the announcers on there, and then they signed the contract and didn't realize that they were going to say things like, I don't know, Al, my nipples are just hard right now. It's like they thought it was just be a straightforward sports announcing thing, and they had to read these lines from these South Park guys, and they were just like, what the hell are we doing? So yeah, with that being said, Chargers for me.
Yeah, Chargers are going to the finals here. As much as I love the Dolphins, like I've been saying, I think their old school logo is probably my favorite logo in the NFL. But when we're talking about full jerseys, powder blues, the different variations that the Chargers roll out, like that alternate dark blue with the dark blue bolt on the side of their helmet. They throw numbers on the side of their helmets every now and again too. Like I love what the Chargers are able to do uniform wise.
When we started, I said the Bengals and Dolphins were my 2 favorite uniforms going into this, so I'll stick with the Dolphins. And since Harry brought up Ace Ventura, shout out to that one fan who was at the UConn Stetson game, 1 versus 16. Well, guess what, guys? Stetson is where Ray Finkel went to college, which Ace mentions in the movie. And some guy was wearing Ray Finkel jersey at the game. So that's just some next level fandom there. I'm going Dolphins, but we lose.
All right. We get the Chargers against the Eagles in the finals of the Pick Six podcast. Jersey bracket. Running long here, but that's okay. This is like an enthralling conversation. The Chargers have, as we mentioned, a lot to work with here. You've got I guess it's navy blue, and then you got the dark blue with the dark blue inside the helmet. Sully's referenced several times. You have just the white with the yellow pants, and of course the powder blue. The powder blue just does it for me. I think the Kelly green versus the powder blue. I mean, I don't know. Have we ever seen that matchup before on the field? It might even be like too much. Like those two cool. Like I don't even know how that actual matchup would go. But I think those are my two favorite jerseys in the history of the NFL. That being said, I am a Chargers powder blue guy. I love it like more than just about anything. Kelly green close second for me, but I will go Chargers here.
Yeah, I think we kind of nailed it for this final too. I think it's a very respectable championship game between these two jerseys. I'm with you, Brinson. I think I go Chargers. I think I give it to the Chargers, but this is so tight because I love the Kelly greens. I love the black uniforms. I even like just their pine green regular season random Sunday afternoon jersey for the Eagles, but there's just so much in that repertoire for the Chargers. And to me, I just can't. The pinnacle of NFL jerseys to me is the powdered blue Chargers uniforms, and it's tough to knock that up, even if you are Kelly green.
Yeah, I love the Eagles uniforms. We obviously voted them all the way through to the finals. I think that was probably the biggest surprise. I think that most people will probably rank the Eagles in the top 10, but to have them here in the championship, they were the feisty underdog, the Cinderella that fought all the way through to the end until they ran into an absolute buzzsaw. I don't think you can really argue against the Chargers. I think most people would agree it is absolutely a top 3 uniform in the NFL. And in this case, they are the champions here of our jersey bracket. I take the Chargers.
Congratulations to the Chargers. Jim Harbaugh. Who's got it better than y'all? Nobody.